So, today we're at the Green Kitchen in St Albans on the Hatfield Road, and what I'm doing today is starting up a podcast with Felicia Banks, who is a client of mine. Her website, Crystal 8 Rainbows or Crystal Rainbows, has pretty much been launched in the last couple of days. And what I'm looking to do is just basically ask, and this will be a set of podcasts that I'll ask clients that I've finished with and decided to launch their website to go and just discuss about their experiences with previous developers, and my pretty much experience is that I pick up a lot of clients from previous, fracas that they've had with previous developers and designers. And to a certain extent, from my point of view, they are charlatans, and from my point of view, they sort of steer the client in the wrong direction instead of asking the right questions. So, here's Felicia, and she will probably be, the first question I'm probably going to ask is, what is, your earliest experience with actually getting your website built?
My first experience was actually several years ago when my husband and I decided to build my own website with BT. Well, that was an experience all on its own. After several catastrophes with expenses and hidden agendas with BT, we decided that my website was not showing up on any searches, and it was hidden, so we decided to disband it. Lucky me, I complained and I got my money back, so I was very pleased about that. Then I went on to doing another website which had the same thing with that designer. I just decided to pack it in and stop it.
So how many websites did you actually do all in all? So including the one we just launched? Four websites.
Four websites.
Okay, sure, no problem.
And this is the only one that's actually looks absolutely as it's supposed to look.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great.
My shop window.
Yeah.
And so then I went on to meeting somebody a couple of years ago they said they were a website designer with WordPress and convinced me to open a WordPress website. And it seemed very lucrative, it sounded very fantastic what they were offering. And because we were both therapists, we decided to do swapsies for my website designs and everything involved. And when it was launched, no one was able to find it again. No one was able to see me. And the wordings and everything on the website itself was so amateur. I got two other designers before Dan have a look at it. And they all looked at it and laughed and said, "You are joking, seriously, you call this a website? This is something like a child would build for £150, and you've been charged in swapsies over £1,000. Well, something's definitely wrong here. You need to look at and address it."
Sorry, for cutting you off there, but what I'm going to say is that when I first saw the website, and I was one of the three designers that Felicia approached, and the reason why she came to me was because there was a couple of things that I caught out was with regards to the terms and conditions, for example, very important to actually have that because of the GDPR issues, but also with regards to the template that was actually being built, that every WordPress developer, including us, pretty much makes sure that the actual name of the template that was used was not visible on the website. So the idea behind it is that it actually does look professional. In previous podcasts, I've actually said even the likes of Sony, the likes of Apple, even their subsidiaries tend to use templates using WordPress, and that is not made clear and made evident, and you can't easily find it. The reason why templates are used, even from previous podcasts, is because it is an amazing shortcut, an amazing facility to actually building a website, but to have the name of the actual template strewn across the website, which is almost having an external link to a developing company, is, I think, a little bit it's a schoolboy error. It's an amateur mistake. And so go right ahead.
So I went on with the ethos that this woman had my good interest at heart. Even people around me were saying you need to really seriously look at it and ask her questions, which I did. She was also meant to be teaching me how to work my own website after she'd gone away and built it. and I discovered that things weren't as they were meant to be. I kept getting a barrage of spam emails, for instance, that came up on my website, and every time I approached her, she said that she'd blocked it, she'd stopped them, and I was still getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, all from all over the world, coming to me. And again, I didn't know Dan at the time, so I asked someone else who I knew, who was a friend of mine, who I trusted. They looked into it for me and they said, this is wrong, you need to stop this woman from doing anything on your website.
So I mean, the idea of people actually communicating with you, the way that most websites tend to work is with the build of a website is it is a glorified business card. There's no question about it. It just makes you more exposed online. But because it's a glorified business card, how people actually communicate with you, because it's out to the general world and you're not controlling where that business card goes, that anyone can get hold of you. And that is where the likes of even security checks at certain points. So the contact form on your website, I can tell you now, has got gotchas that stop like things like bots and automated systems just randomly emailing you, which is, I think, a massive security measure to have. The SSL certification on it is a good thing to begin with, but that additional security means that you're able to control what sort of emails you do get. So moving forwards, is the next question would be how did you get to the stage of doing your crystal business, and how has that fitted in with the design that we've made for you?
My business has been running for over 20 years, and I've always worked in a different ethos way of actually word of mouth. It wasn't until probably 8 years ago that it all sort of started to change gradually over to the media, and instead of having the people coming to you from word of mouth or recommendations, which I still were getting, but I was finding more and more people were relying on the internet for their source of their therapist or whoever they went to. So I had to sort of change, hence why all of these attempts to get website, which now I've got one, which is fantastic. It was well worth waiting for. And in itself, I think, as Dan rightly knows, he's very patient. It took from March this year to December this year to actually launch it. On the other hand, it has given me plenty of opportunity to do the right content to attract the perfect client. That's more to the thing.
That's right.
Rather than bish bosh, it's out there with the intent to sort of attract anybody.
That's right. I mean, I've always sworn by even on the Hertfordshire Web Design website, I've always sworn by the idea of the turnaround time will be, and I remember saying it to you in March, is the turnaround time will be less than a couple of weeks. Considering your website, it'll be about a week. But the thing is that there are cases where you need to extend that, because with regards to something that is it's not just ones and zeros. It's not analytical. It's something that is a spiritual matter. It's something that requires you to feel comfortable because you're putting your heart out there. And a lot of people, when they even design business cards, it's a purpose of understanding what the client needs. And I think what you needed more often than not is not just a better website to begin with, but I think it's more to do with time and sort of an understanding of how it's going to be laid out.
Energetically be the right time.
Yes, that's right. And downtime is important, and understanding what the content should be and laying it out. But again, this website that we've done for you is just, I think the idea is it can be updated and it can be changed, and it will grow, because as you grow your blogs, you can change the pages, change the graphics. But I
wasn't in the original, was it? I wasn't
No.
to do blogs. Now I am doing blogs.
That's right.
And that is, I think, one of the reasons I had to wait energetically, and then I started learning to just go out there and be brave to do blogs, and then all of a sudden they're on my website. So that's good.
And I think that's one thing that's one of the things that I actually noticed is with regards to the way that you communicate with your clients, you've used social media and you've started to get very prominent with it. And that social media, I think it's quite important to understand that, because then it's then tying the actual website to it as well. And now you have a website. It's just a matter of actually getting into the training of saying, okay, right, well, here's my social post, but hey, here's the website as well. So again, it sort of works in conjunction with each other. I'm going to tie it up there, and that's pretty much it. I think that's enough for me to be going on with, yeah, this hopefully will be more than one of many posts that I'll be doing with my clients. So yeah, speak to you soon, and good luck, Felicia.
Thank you very much, Dan.